Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Resilient Riches. I thought, let's look around the world and find some of the best judo athletes in the entire planet, but I realized it's actually my home country in Israel. So I decided, let's bring the silver Olympic medalist and former world champion of 2023, only because she still has a few more competitions coming up. Inbar Lanir coming in from Israel. We're so excited to have you. We're so excited to hear some of your amazing stories, and our audience really loves you. We really appreciate what you're doing. And the most amazing part of Israel is that judo, which is so prevalent and so powerful in Israel, it has such a small amount of athletes in Israel compared to the other countries. I'm going to let you kind of tell the statistics because I don't want to get them wrong. But everybody, welcome to this amazing episode. And not only do we have this amazing athlete on, we're also going to hear some amazing resilient stories of the Israeli people and the Jewish people and how they became so successful in such a short amount of time. So Inbar Lanir, welcome to the podcast. Everybody, welcome to Resilient Riches. We're really excited for this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
So Inbar, can you tell us the statistics of, just to get us started, to get the statistics of how many Israeli judo athletes there are versus other countries, and also the level of success that Israel's had it on the world stage?
So right now, I think we have around 6,000 active judo athletes in Israel. And comparing to Japan, that has a few millions, and France, that has a million for sure. Israel is ranked very, very high in the amount of Olympic medals, world medals we have. We are the only country who reached 2 Olympic finals in Paris Olympics. And I think it shows a lot about our character and about our intelligence and hard work.
But why? How are they so good? I mean, like, what's the difference? I mean, you get huge numbers. Like, how did you become so successful? And what's your background?
So first of all, I think we're fighters in our daily life. So we know that in number-wise, we aren't so big, but we can use our upsides, I guess, or we can use our advantages for that. So the first time Israel was at the Olympics, I think it was 1972, if I'm correct. Don't get me with the numbers.
Don't worry.
I'm fighting.
We won't fact check you. Don't worry. We won't fact check you.
People fact check me, but not.
I will see it in the comments probably. No worries. So the first time we had an Olympic medal, it was 1992 in Barcelona. It was Yael Arad, and I think she was the one that broke the glass ceiling. She was the first woman to win, and I think this was the opening for Israeli women judokas to see it possible. And Yarden Jarbi, the bronze medal winner from Rio, and the 2013 world champion, she had an amazing story about that she saw Yael Arad winning in the Olympic, and that's what made her start. So I think we have a rich history for being good at judo. So when there's a lot of successes in the older age, the young kids want to try it as well because they want to be successful. So it just keeps growing and growing. And we get great coaches and a lot of talent.
I mean, to another level. So can you tell us your background, or let our audience know your background?
Yeah. So I'm 24. I was born in 2000. I'm a middle child. My mom is an architect and my dad is a project manager, sorry. And I was born in Yehud. It's a small city near the airport. And I think I was just doing a lot of sports classes when I was younger. Because I was a crazy middle child, my mom and dad wanted me to go to sleep early, so they signed me up to all the sports classes there are. And one of them was judo. And my mom used to do judo when she was young. So she saw the potential I had, and she asked me if I want to try. And for me, another sports class is great, so I wanted to try. And I swear it was a love at first sight. I came into the dojo, and I saw a huge tatami, a huge mat, which I could do whatever I want. Not exactly whatever I want. We have some rules, we have some techniques we need to try, but comparing to all the other sports classes I tried, which was gymnastics and dancing, I had a lot more freedom to choose which techniques are good for me and with who I want to work. And there's a lot of aggression going out and energy. And I think it fits me right in. And after the first class, the coach went to my mom and told her he wants me to go to the advanced class because I was very talented. And first of all, I was doing it twice a week. I was 6 years old. I was very young, and with all the sport classes as well. I was doing ballet, and then I put the judogi on top of the ballet clothes, and I was very, very busy. I wasn't a kid that was watching TV afternoon. I was always doing something. And then it became 3 times a week and 4 times a week. And at the end, when I was 13, I joined the national team. We had some trials, and I was big and strong, and they wanted me to go. So I think this was the first time I realized I could actually do it as a career. And when I came to the national team training for the first time, I saw all the athletes I used to adore. I'm still adoring. And I was just training side by side, and I could see what it takes to reach this high level. I was watching Yarden for her whole Olympic cycle and trainings, and I could see what it takes to be an Olympian, an Olympic medalist. And it gave me a lot of inspiration. So until it was me.
Yeah. How was the adventure that you had for the world champion? And so you won the Olympics in 2022, right? And then you took the world. I mean, not one. You got silver in the Olympics in 2022, and then you took the world championship in 2023.
So I was at the Tokyo Olympics 2021.
2021.
I lost the second round, but then we won together as a team for the first time, the bronze medal. I wasn't participating in this competition because we had different weight division classes, and I was the same weight division with Razersko, which is much heavier and stronger than me, and she had a big advantage. So I got the medal. I'm not very proud of it because I'm not a bench player. I want to grab and take it by my own. But we did win the bronze medal as a team, which is a really historical moment for the Israeli team. And I'm talking not not my story, but the whole Israeli team story. So it's worth mentioning. And then 2022 wasn't so successful. I was still processing what do I need to do to win the next Olympics. And I was still trying a lot of new things and new techniques and mental techniques and everything. And then 2023 was the breakthrough. I won the World Championships. But a very nice story is that this championship was held in Qatar, in Doha, and we weren't even supposed to go because we don't have any relations between Israel and Qatar, and the Israeli security wasn't even they didn't allow us to go first, and they didn't want us to come with us.
This was this was post October 7th or pre October 7th? Just I want everyone to know.
It was May 2023.
May 2023.
It was not long after the World Cup.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we went there on our own with some national security from that they brought us and some American security guards, but we couldn't leave the hotel for a week. We couldn't wear any Israel clothes while we were there. So we were getting pretty bored in the hotel for this week, but it gave us a lot of motivation until our day of competition. I was fighting the 6th day. And then I arrived there. It was one of the best days I've ever had. I was just flowing there. Everything just clicked. And I remember when I won the final, first of all, I couldn't believe. It was, I think, 4 or 5 fights the whole day. And I won everything. I won all of them by Ippon. And then I won the French in the final. And I was looking at Shani. I told him, what's going on? Like, I can't believe it happened, because when I'm doing competition, I'm just focusing on the next move, on the next fight. I'm not giving any attention to which fight it is, if it's the final, if it's the first one. For me, it's all the same. So I found myself winning a world title, and I was getting so emotional, because when the medal ceremony was, it's the first time there is the national anthem played in Qatar, of course. And on my left side, there was this VIP section full with cheeks that weren't smiling, and they had to put the anthem because I won, and they didn't want to do any political issues or diplomatic problems. So they had to play, but no one was very happy besides the Israeli team. And I think this was one of the most emotional moments I've ever had.
Well, I mean, it's so deep to be able to break ties. I mean, it's athletes, and you're able to break ties between the political and hatred that people have, and all of a sudden you have to compete on this level, and everybody's the same. And I do believe that if more people played sports, there would be a lot more unity in this world and a lot more peace in this world.
For sure.
The whole idea of sports is to overcome that, the petty rivalries and everything, but you should, look at something above yourself and just go, sports will, offset all of that. I think that's one of the reasons why it's so exciting, why there's so much of a following for all sorts of sports.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think sports is like a bridge, unites by nations, by political opinions, by genders, by everything. And to be able to do like a positive impact on such an important matter, it means a lot to me, because I'm choosing my battles, besides doing judo, I never fight, not even verbal. And I don't protest, I don't do anything in a negative way, because I think there's so much negativity in this world. So whatever I do, it has to be positive. So doing that, and doing a positive thing, and doing what I love the most, is the perfect combination.
Well, you found your calling.
Yeah, let me just ask though.
Exactly.
I mean, we know, everybody knows that there's Israeli army service. So did you get exempt from that, or did you serve in the army? How did that work for you? Because now you're 24, and we know that there's Israeli army, I think for women, at least at 19 for 2 years. Is that correct?
Exactly. Everyone has to do an army service in Israel. But because I was a very talented athlete, we have this athlete job that you are able to go for trainings and to go for competitions and training camps. And so what I was doing for 2 years, between the age of 18 to 20, I was doing my morning training, took a bus to the army base, did some office work, and then go back to all the afternoon training. So I gave away my naps for 2 years. But we all have to do it, of course.
Yeah,
Naps are very important, though. They shouldn't be minimized.
Naps are part of my training routine.
Mine too.
I have to nap.
I
every
do
day.
too. I do too.
To keep my dad at the pinnacle of success, he has to nap 2 to 3 times a day. Yeah,
Not 2 or 3, but my max fighting shape, I've got to have a good nap.
Of course.
There's nothing.
It should be obligatory.
Well, that's what the whole siestas are like across all of Europe. They know what they're doing. They don't mess.
Maybe I'm Spanish.
Maybe you said Polish and Hungarian. Do the Polish nap? I don't even know if they're Polish nap.
No, you actually have a very French accent. I mean, is your mother French? Is your parents French?
No, I'm just catching. I can't have my Hebrew accent, so I'm catching up. Different accents, depends.
You're trying to make it.
I was a lot in French this year, maybe because of that.
So maybe you learn. Yeah, maybe you learn
very
English
French.
Yeah, you learned English from the French.
I have a very weird one. When I'm in Denmark, I have Danish accent. When I'm yeah,
We'll bring you to Canada. We'll bring you to Canada. You got a Canadian accent.
Yeah, exactly.
They will understand me.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So there's a really cool, very funny Polish phrase. Polish grandmothers, they say, "I will rest in the grave." So there are no Polish naps. But we say when my dad sleeps Friday noon, it's called Schlafstunde. It's in German.
So he takes that.
I don't know if you know it.
He's smart.
I hear the schluffing part. The schluffing part, that's universal language. So I get that part. Yeah, I get
Flustered
that
there.
part. Yeah.
Take a schlop. Yeah.
Let me ask you also, there's just recently I read about, I can't remember what it was, but there was an Israeli team that was first barred from coming and then that decision was reversed.
I think it was volleyball.
It wasn't volleyball, it was something else just recently. Have you had any of those
No, bowling.
experiences?
It was
The
bowling.
bowling,
It was
yeah.
bowling.
Bowling team. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, they were
So what was the
barred.
question?
They were barred and then they came back just recently. But did you have any, that's a great question. Did you have any controversy? So let's talk about post October 7th, because obviously you became a visionary. Like the judo team was great before and it was amazing, but now you became this visionary of defiance and strength across the world. How did October 7th transform the Israeli judo team?
So October 7th was Saturday morning. I remember I was ready for a competition in Abu Dhabi. It was supposed to be 2 weeks later. And I woke up with the alarm. And first of all, I thought I'm having a doping test because they wake me up very early in the morning. And then my dad told me, no, there's no doping test. Let's go to the safe room. So first of all, I didn't understand what's happening. So we were in the safe room, and then I went upstairs, took out my spinning bike, and I started training in front of a TV. And then I saw terrorists coming into Israel. Like, what's going on? I can't believe what I'm seeing. And during the day, we understood a little bit what's going on and what's the the amount of things that are happening. And I got a text from my coach, Shani, and he said, let's talk tonight, but we might train tomorrow morning. And for me, it was absurd. Look what's going on. Israel is on fire. What about training? And then later that evening, he told us we're training the next day. And I think it was a very, very brave decision, a leader decision, that we must keep going because we can recruit back to the army. In fact, we did office work, and there were a lot of volunteering, but the best thing we could do is keep training and prepare for the next time we could raise the flag and make everyone proud and happy. And we did. We cried a lot the next day, but we kept on training. And Abu Dhabi, of course, was canceled for us. We couldn't go. It was too close to October 7th, and we didn't want to take the risk. We weren't officially uninvited, but I think it was the both sides agreement that let's keep it under the radar this time. And then we had to compete in Montpellier in France. It was 1 month after. It was European Championships. We went there with so many security guards, and it felt like COVID and like an Arabic country at the same time. And for me, this competition was so emotionally. I won bronze there, and I remember the crowd was booing. And I know people don't like us, but hearing it like that was very hard for me, but I was very proud to raise the flag. I screamed El Israel when I was there. And then I had a few more competitions, but because I was ranked high and I didn't need to do all of them. But a few of my teammates needed to do some competitions to gain points to get into the Olympics, but we couldn't go to Turkey. They didn't let us come. And then I think Tajikistan had one competition, we couldn't go. So we missed a lot of important competitions for the qualification. And it's very difficult because other countries can fight and take our places. And
were there any protests for you? I know there's some of the competitions they had people came out and protested against Israel, etc. And it got kind of scary, but it sounds like for you, I mean, it was just some booing, etc. Which I still think, we were in Israel like in November after October 7th in the restaurant in Tel Aviv, and the waitress says to us, "Well, I think the whole world hates us, just the way everything is." But I said to her, we go to a lot of seminars, we travel around a lot. There was and there obviously was and is a lot of support for Israel, but it's quieter. You hear the boos, but you don't hear the people that are cheering and that are giving you that support. So, there may be like a minority of people that are loud, but we shouldn't.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be. It shouldn't be taken out of context.
I know. I think we hear the protest more than we hear the support because it's very popular now, and among the youngsters that are very on social media and everything. So I don't think the whole world hates us. After coming to New York and LA, I saw a lot of supporters, so I'm very positive about it. But we have an issue that we need to work about. And now, like judo is not so popular like tennis that we had now, the Israeli tennis player that they were protesting and screaming while her match. But it's still never nice. And going towards Paris Olympics, we got some threats, we got some messages. I got messages, and also my parents and my siblings got messages that we're not invited to Paris Olympics, and they want to make the same like the Munich have. And we know the threats are not real, but it's just never nice to have.
So you never know. You still have to take them seriously because you never know. I mean, this looks crazy. Just what happened, had something in New Orleans and then outside in Las Vegas. I mean, these people are nuts, and it's too easy for an individual, a person that's just on his own, to create a lot of mayhem and to be very destructive. It's just too easy. You can't watch everybody.
You're right, but the Israeli team and the Israeli security, they were very busy in making sure we will be safe. And also, while the Olympics I felt very safe. We had security guards all over 24/7 escorting us to all the competitions, the venues. We couldn't leave the village. That's all right. I can understand that. But I personally, I felt safe.
Let's talk about the Paris Olympics, the 2024 Olympics.
Let's do it.
All right. Talk to me about that. You got to tell me those stories. And then one thing that just before we get into that, the one thing that I find is you were thrust into a political argument when you just want to play sports. How did that feel for you? Because all of a sudden you were on a very different pedestal than you were because before you were an Israeli judo athlete, but now you're representing the Jewish people as a whole on the world stage. How did that feel for you?
It feels like it's part of my job. Being an Israeli athlete is being a Jewish athlete. It's being a representative to everyone. And as it comes with a prize and people has something to say, I put it aside because as an athlete, I'm using to focus on the things I need to do, focus on the positive things, and not about the background noise, because there's always background noise. And I was born in Israel as a Jew, and I'm taking this part. And since I'm young, I know every time I win, I point the flag, and I'm very, very proud. And I'm proud of this country, and I'm proud of the Jewish nation people. And I don't mind the booing, and I don't mind the protesting. I'm very, very proud.
That's it. So let's talk 2024 Olympics. How did that feel? Talk to us. Tell people about that journey. Because you did pretty damn good. You did pretty damn good in the Olympics.
Yeah. Not good as I expected. I expected gold, but
yeah. We know a lot of Olympians. Just our world knows a lot of Olympians, and I heard this Olympic silver medalist for fencing goes up and speaks, and the whole crowd's like, "Oh, he only got a silver medal." I'm thinking, he only got a silver medal. That's like he beat out millions and millions and millions of people. He gets a silver medal at the Olympics, like the highest stage ever. I think you guys could be quiet for a second to let him speak. But tell us about your story.
Yeah. So after losing Tokyo, I decided it can't be the same. And I knew I had a lot of talent and I can work hard, but for me the mental part was the hardest. Because I'm like highly sensitive person. And everything was, I don't know, I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of winning. I was afraid of losing. I was so anxious about everything. And I did a very, very hard mental progress to be able to stand on the biggest stage and perform. So I really took it step by step. As I told, 2022 wasn't so successful. 2023 was the point. The World Championships was the point. I understood I'm really good and I can do it. Because to be able to win an Olympic medal, you have to win a big competition before. You have to be used to it, to have the experience of performing at your best and at the most important moment. So it gave me confidence, and I won after that. 2 months after that, I won the Masters, which is the top 32, and it gave me the title of the fastest winning athlete, because I won this competition by less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
And the record before was 7 minutes. So
Wow.
it also gave me more confidence going towards the Olympics. And I had to remain very, very focused, working on the things I'm good at to make it better, and working on the things I'm not good at to make them better as well. And I was very, I listened to my coaches, and I did as they said. I wasn't arguing about everything. And then when I arrived there, I think I had like a break point after Timna Nelson-Levy and Baruch Shmailov, 57 and under 57, under 66, they lost, and they're very good friends of mine. And I think seeing your teammate after you worked so hard together, you did the same journey, and then she lost. It broke my heart. It broke my heart because I knew how much she deserved that, how hard she worked, and seeing her dream just breaks, it broke me as well. And I had 3 more days. And I remember I went back to the village. I was crying my eyes out. And you can't show weakness before your competition. You can't show weakness at all time when you're doing judo, because they take advantage of that. So you have to remain very, very cool, but I couldn't. So I remember I took my sunglasses out. I went out to the grass in front of my binen in the village, and I just sat there, put my feet on the ground, and listened to very, very quiet, relaxing music for 2 hours after crying, and then getting all my emotions out gave me some energy. And then I decided I don't see any competition for the last 3 days before my competition. I don't want to see anything, because surprises can happen, and the people who were supposed to win, they lose, and it can happen. And my heart is very weak for those, so I can't see it. Have to remain focused. So I was watching Netflix for 3 days, and I was cutting my weight. I was getting ready. And when I started the competition day, I remember I arrived to the bus, to the shuttle zone, and I acted like I'm the actress in my movie, the main actress, and all my competitors are like the how do you call it?
Supporting cast. The supporting cast.
Exactly. And I imagine there are cameras all around, and how would an Olympic gold medal winner would act before she wins? And I think it gave me so much confidence, and also it showed to my opponents that I'm very, very confident. And then we arrived there, and I was just focusing on the next move, to put my socks, to drink water, to do my warm-up. I was focusing only on the next thing I have to do, and it's what keeps me focused. And then the first matches started. I was against a Mongolian athlete, and it was supposed to be an easy win. I'm better than her. I know her, but the fight was so bad. I fought so bad. I almost lost for a few moments, but I remained resilient, and I was focused, and I told myself, don't worry, keep going, it will happen, you will win. And eventually I did. And I remember walking down from the fight. I looked at my coach, Shani, and he looked at me, and we were both silent because we knew it was a bad match. But we had to keep going because it doesn't say anything about the remain of the competition. And then next match was the quarterfinal. I was against Netherlands, which she won against me for 5 times, and I lost every time. And I didn't win even one time. She's very, very experienced, very strong. She's 10 years older than me. And I fought against her in some training camps, and I did the preparation I did towards her. I think I did like 100 trainings only on her. How do I react? How do I win? So I was very, very ready for her, but I knew I will have a very hard match. I didn't know how long it will take. I didn't know how I will win, but I knew I'm gonna win. It took, I think, less than 20 seconds. I think 18 seconds, I don't remember. And we were all very surprised. Me, her, my coach. She came to my coach a few hours later and told him I was very strong, which is not taken for granted because usually they don't do it.
Just to give some context, how long should a match take? It took this 18
yeah, we
seconds.
didn't give any context about judo. Let's do it. So a match, the normal time of the match is 4 minutes. It can be shorter if you win by ippon, which is the highest score. And it can take longer if there's no score. Some matches can take 10 minutes until the golden score. And usually my matches are around 2 minutes because I'm very, very aggressive, very eager to win. I'm always looking for throwing. So I think I reached the golden score maybe 3 or 4 times during my whole career.
What do you mean by golden score? What is that?
Golden score
Like
is
by
when
decision,
you
right?
is every point win. So we have the Wazari and we have the ippon. Now we have a Yuko, which is 1 point. Wazari is 10 points and ippon is 100 points. So even a Wazari can win the fight after 4 minutes or 3 penalties.
That we're not going to get the entire judo.
No, but at least a little. Listen,
So we have to start with that. We have to start with that first.
I watched my sons wrestle for years and years and years, and my oldest son, who still wrestles, he just came back from Finland for some reason, still complains that I don't really understand how it works.
Yeah, it is weak that you don't understand because 3 of your kids wrestled. But all right, so continue. You knocked
Four of my kids wrestled, by the way.
Was the 4th one really count?
Shimshon wrestled all through high school.
So yeah, you're right. I mean,
it counts. High school counts.
You have to win. How many times? I think there has to be like a winning level of whatever, but fine. So all right, so you knock out the Netherlands in like 4.5 seconds. What happens after that?
And then we had a break for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Midst of the competition before the semifinal and the final. And you have to remain focused. You have to rest as well, to eat some carbs and some protein and be ready for the next other matches, the most important matches. So I got the world champion, the German, for the semifinal, which I won already, but she won the world title a month before. She was in very good shape, like everyone in the Olympics. But I knew how I can win, and I knew that if I would be focused enough and very, very aggressive, it would happen, and it did. With a counter attack I worked on for 2 years. Thousands of times I did this counter attack, and eventually it happened in the most important time. I think it was 2 minutes after the beginning of the fight, and I threw by ippon. And then I had around 30-40 minutes before the final, knowing I have an Olympic medal, because winning the semifinal in the Olympics, meaning you have either silver or gold. And I had to put it aside because you don't reach to the Olympic final just to be there. When you're there, you're going to win. So I went off the mat, I looked into my coach's eyes, and I told them we're not done yet. I told him and I told myself as well. We went down, I was drinking some water, taking some sugars inside, and just preparing for the next match against the Italian, which I won in the semifinal the year prior to the Olympics in the World Championships. And I was confident. I was sure I can win, but I think somewhere deep inside, I didn't fully believe I can do it. And when you don't fully believe you can do it, you can't do it. You will always end
Always
up
lose.
losing if you're
It's that's the same context in everything, in business, in sales, in financial success, and really in everything. If you don't feel that you can do, if you don't feel that you can, it's in you, you're never going to be able to do it. And it has to be very deep rooted. It has to be to its core, and it's super crucial to understand that.
Yeah, and I when I look back, I understand I wasn't very, very confident as I thought I was. I really wanted to win. I worked hard against her. I trained a lot against her. But at the end, somewhere deep inside in my subconscious, I wasn't sure I was gonna win. And it gets me very frustrated now because it's not about my abilities. It's not about the shape I had. It's not about anything. It's about my head.
I think in general, sports especially, but also like what Yair is saying in life too, but definitely in sports, I like sports. So I'll watch, the Super Bowl and hockey and not basketball, but baseball. But they'll say like a team that lost, let's say the Super Bowl last year, comes back, they makes it even hungrier the following year. Now they really want it even more. So I think that's always a key criteria for that. The hungrier team, the one that wants it more, the one that's going to outwork perhaps, but mentally, when you get to a certain level of skill and ability and work ethic, etc. I think it's everybody does the same more or less, but then it becomes the mental challenge, and that's what people have to overcome.
Agreed.
Yeah, because everyone works hard.
You don't
At
get to
some
that
point,
level
the
without
level
working hard. You don't get to there
exactly.
without working hard.
And you don't get to the Olympics without wanting to win. Everyone wants to win.
Exactly.
But you have to believe you can do it. And it's very hard to get there and believe you can do it. And for me, I think that the limit was the final. And it's very hard for me to admit it. But now it gets me hungrier for LA. What can I do?
Yeah, I feel like you open up once you have those big losses. I lost my finals match in my high school career, and that was the end of my wrestling career. But I won the year before on the Jewish national stage, so I won that. It was a great match, and then the finals of the last year, I lost by like 1 point. It was a brutal match. It was blood everywhere. It was serious, and it actually really like helped me because. I don't know that if you know this, that was a big part of the reason why I decided to go to the Army. That was a big part of the reason why I took on these challenges because I never felt I was done. Because when high school from 18 to 19 is really not a big difference of age. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not done. I have to do more. And my brother, who still wrestles and still, for some reason, he also says the same thing because he can never do well in high school. So he always tries to make it up later. And I think that's part of the reason of my hunger to this date, honestly, in everything I do in life, is because I lost that match in such a hard way. And now it opened me up to having the desire to be successful all the time and never wanting to hit that feeling again. So how was it after you tell us about how you lost? Tell us about how you lost, and then tell us what you learned from losing.
So I want to comment on what you said, and I think first of all, losing is very, very hard, but then you understand what you get from it. Winning is amazing. I love winning. I will always love winning, but I learned the hardest lesson and the best lesson from losing, and the way it got you there to where you are right now, it's because of that. And I think that's amazing. And maybe if you were winning, you weren't here right now. So there's a reason for everything. So going back to my final. So the fight didn't start the way I wanted. I had like a plan in my head, but the plan wasn't accurate and it didn't cover the whole all the options that there were. And it started off not as I wanted, and then I fought by Wazari, and I got some penalties. But the way I lost was I got a third penalty, for not attacking enough. And I think I wouldn't say anything about the refereeing. I would just say I lost by 3 penalties, okay? So after I lost, right after, I looked into my coach's eyes and he said, "It's okay, you have an Olympic medal." He knew I was sad. I put my head on him and I was just resting after this whole Olympic cycle. And then he cheered me up, and he was right. Like, I knew I lost this fight. I lost the Olympic title, but I did win a medal. So there's 2 ways of looking at it. And I will have the time to be sad about it. I will have the time to acknowledge and to know what I did wrong. But now there are a few thousands of Israelis that are celebrating with me. The first Olympic medal Israel has in this competition, in this Olympics. So I just switched to a happy mode. I was screaming with them and cheering with them, and I know just celebrating is really very nice.
You have
And
to always
also
celebrate your wins. You have to celebrate your wins. Maybe even
Exactly.
if it doesn't match exactly what you're looking at, but you still should always celebrate the wins and acknowledge how far you've come.
Exactly. It took a lot for me to get to this silver medal. And just for losing 1 match, I lost a lot of matches. It doesn't matter if it's the first match of this Grand Prix or it's the final of the Olympics. Losing is losing, and it's never nice, but I just made history. I made my dream come true. It wasn't the color I wanted, but I made my dream come true. And I have to celebrate it. And I was happy, and I was not faking it. I was very, very happy. But the thing I wanted to talk about today is not about being sad about losing the final. It's about losing my goal. Because after 18 years of having a goal, for 3 years, every morning I woke up and every night I went to bed, I saw the Eiffel Tower in front of my eyes. And I had every morning I was imagining me putting a medal on my neck. And then it was just gone. I did it. And the goal can be lost by not having what I wanted, but also achieving it. And then I lost the purpose. And I had the famous post-Olympic blues, like a lot of athletes have. And I don't talk about it often.
You have to figure out what's next.
Yeah, because I did it. Like I made my dream come true. I did everything. But now, what's there to wake up for? What's there to eat healthy for? To train for? I didn't have a purpose. And I knew it would happen. I was aware of it. Former athletes, they prepared me for that, but no one can really prepare you for that. I tried to, going towards the Olympics, I had a very strong sense that I need to separate my worth from whatever happens in this day. That I'm a whole with an Olympic medal or without an Olympic medal. And I thought that would be my my safe pillow for the post-Olympic blues, but I was wrong. And I was so happy I did it, but I was also crying a lot. And I just had to slowly do good things, positive actions, to get back to myself. Because preparing for the Olympics means, for me, it meant for me to give up a lot of my personality and a lot of my character, a lot of my hobbies, to give all the energy I had to get this medal. So I didn't have any hobbies for a year. I wasn't dating. I didn't meet my friends. I didn't see my family because I was flying a lot. And then I met myself post-Olympics. Had no hobbies. I didn't have many friends, real friends. And I had to build myself back up again and to find who I am. and find new goals. And that wasn't easy.
No, it's very hard. I sacrificed a lot of my youth for that same concept. I had friends because I had friends from growing up, or for about 5 years, I just worked all day, all night. And my dad came into our business, this business, how long is it now? 6 years, Dad?
6, 7 years, yeah.
Yeah. So he used to, he, he, we started going on meetings. Like we would be up early in the morning. We'd be in the office very early in the morning, and we'd go to sleep very late at night. Like we wouldn't get home till midnight. When you do that every single day, five days a week for years, and I'm not talking about it was a few months, it was years to build what we
Yeah.
built. Thankfully, thank God, hopefully only continues. Um, you sacrifice a lot, and then I remember someone was like, "You got to have some hobbies." I was like, "So I tried golf, and golf hurts my back, and I gotta try like what am I gonna do?"
By the way, can you pick up your golf clubs out of my attic?
No, they're not
They've
going.
just taken up space here, and you haven't used them in so many years.
That's because I don't have hobbies.
Can you come and take them away, or sell them on eBay? Do something.
No, he would still play golf someday.
It's about having.
If it's in his own apartment, then he'll do it. If it's sitting here, it's free rent.
Free rent. That's
I
good.
feel like I'm in a family dinner.
Yeah, there's a lot of family therapy needed. But the main thing is that you give up a lot of sacrifice and you realize what comes out, but then something else emerges and something else takes your time and you realize you can find other things to work hard in. But so continue. You got through the blues, and I want to just keep us to a time, but so you got in the blues, you've realized one step at a time. So how did that journey go?
So I decided that if I'm going for another Olympic cycle, it wouldn't look the same. Because for me, the easy way, as funny as it sounds, the easy way is to go like a robot, the same way, and win another Olympic medal. But I don't want it. I think my challenge now is winning an Olympic medal and have a life, and have friends, and have hobbies, and have a character besides judo. And it's gonna be hard, and for sometimes I will have to put it aside, put my hobbies aside towards a big competition or something. But I really put it as a goal, and it got me excited.
Way. But that's the healthy way.
Yeah,
that's the healthy way to go.
Because I felt for the past cycle that what gave me confidence is me doing the right thing, the perfect thing at all time. And I didn't have any room for mistakes. I didn't have any room for imperfections. And every time I had an imperfection, it affected my confidence so badly. I just said, I'm just gonna be perfect, and then I would win. And I don't think it's a healthy way. And now that I won an Olympic medal, I won a world championship title, I know I'm good. So now I can do it good enough, and even very, very good, but not perfect every time. Then I will keep my mental health. Then I could have another life besides that. And I think this is the healthy way to do it.
I think also you're the best. I'm assuming you're the best female Israeli athlete in history, right?
I'm the best judoka, male and female, now in Israel.
In Israel history, which is amazing. I mean, not yet, but female athlete. Did Israel ever win a female gold or silver aside for judo?
Yeah, gymnastics.
Oh, gymnastics. Yes.
Rhythmic gymnastics.
Yes. The rhythmic gymnastics. That's true. I'm sorry for those.
I'll keep my record in judo for now.
You could see you're doing okay.
Yeah.
You have this amazing story of resilience, which is just like it exudes out of you. Where did you get this toughness from? What was that story? What was that moment in your life that allowed you to constantly overcome these obstacles in personal, in social, and emotional, and in judo?
I think being an Israeli has a huge part of that, because we always face challenges and we always grow from them. So I'm not afraid of challenges. And I think my parents gave me a great education of working hard and going through hardship. And for me, when I look at challenges, I look at opportunities. So every time there's an opportunity for growth, I'm taking it. And I'm very curious about what I can learn from that and where it will take me. What's the opportunity? What's the serendipity in this challenge? And it gets me very excited because it's a way of looking at it. It will never be an obstacle for me, nothing. And I don't think there's a challenge that's coming my way that I can't deal with or face or go through.
It's amazing. And Bar, I don't know if about everybody else, but I was just like so inspired during this conversation. How can people find you? How can people get in touch with you? How can people follow your journey over to the next to see what you're, and did you find a hobby yet? Just a quick question.
Yeah.
What's your hobby?
I went back dancing ballet.
Oh, really? With the
Yeah.
wearing the ballet on top of the judo outfit. How life's
No, I'm changing. Now I have a car, I can change. I'm doing it once a week.
No, what we should
I have-
come up with is one that you can convert it right away. Like you strip it off, it's the convertible.
Yeah.
You go inside out. One is ballet.
Maybe
one
when
is
I have
judo.
a show, I will do it.
Yeah, that would be
that's a
fun.
new product we could come up with.
Yes, Dad.
It's
Really.
like a dance show, I think.
Yeah, we'll sell 4 of them, and it'll be mostly because we'll be buying them ourselves and sending them as holiday gifts. But
not for Shark Tank.
no, not for sure. No, thank you. No, thank you. But how can people find you? How can people get in contact with you? And how can people just follow your journey?
Perfect. So I have LinkedIn, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have a website. It's Inbar Lanir, not a very complicated name. And my next competition is gonna be Paris Grand Slam, February 2nd. And I don't know where you're gonna watch it, but ijf.com has a live stream, and I'm very excited for this competition.
It's amazing. So, Inbar, thank you so much for everything you do. Thanks for being such a strong light in such a challenging time, and just being so resilient and inspiring millions of people around the world and tens of millions of people around the world. And know that the Jewish community and people around the country and around the world are fully behind you. There's no booing. People think, oh, the boos are louder. No, but people who actually love are way louder. They just do it through like connection and not through loudspeakers. But thank you for
Exactly.
what you're doing.
I completely understand. I completely agree with you. And I want to tell all the Jewish community that I'm representing them at all times.
It's amazing.
Very proudly.
Inbar, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for having
Thank you,
me.
everybody, for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.